Yet another final.
Lost.
I just want to check the year.
Yet another loss for India. In an IC. Oh, this is an ACC.
Is
But
this,
the Asia Cup's also
Yeah.
ACC.
So the problem lies with the CCs.
yeah. Is this
ACC, ICC.
ICC? Yeah. Is this 2017? Are we in 2017 or is it 2023?
It feels like 2017 for sure.
It is definitely 2023 because 2017 I was sitting at the Oval Cricket Ground.
Yep.
2023 I'm sitting here with you guys.
But then, because I'm feeling I'm
On a Sunday night.
On a Sunday
on my
night.
off day.
Yeah.
But I should be out somewhere watching Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah. Well, there goes our plans.
So it's definitely 2023.
2023.
But I know what Siddharth's getting at. He's talking about the Champions Trophy final. We'll get to the comparison. Siddharth will tell us why this is feeling like deja vu, a return of 2017. And he's the nerd that he is, Sid GPT. He's got like minute points also to tell you why it is feeling like 2017. But before that, I mean, it's a problem now.
Big
of
problem.
not winning a title. It's a problem because of semi-finals and finals, which tells you that you're a good enough team. Again, this is not your national team, so people will say, why are you comparing this? But again, it's a big tournament. You've sent a team, and questions will be raised on whether it's pressure, whether it's performance pressure, or whether it is fear of failure, whatever. You could give it any name, but the point is that you're always seeking big titles, big trophies, and it's happening at an alarming consistency. And the joke I know on social media is going to be this: doesn't matter whether it's India or India A, you fall a step or two steps short of the title every time, which is telling you that you're good enough to be in the top 3, top 4, sometimes even the best team. Because what is the other thing which is alarming is that you end up topping tables of most of these leagues, which means you're the best team around. It's something definitely goes wrong when you're in a knockout, where it's a high pressure game, so do or die situation. What is happening, and it's happened with this team, and this is not I'm not going to call this I know it's an emerging team, but I'm not going to call it a team of youngsters because a lot of them play IPL. So that is something which
I
is
can add even the India women's team also in this. Not just India senior, India women. I mean, you look at it, 2022 Commonwealth Games, 2020 World T20, then also 2023 the semi-final.
And you know what's worse in that scenario? In the men's team, a lot of games you lost fair and square. In women's case, most of the games you were cruising. You should have won. You lost it from there.
Cast iron wins that you threw away. The Commonwealth Games, we needed 46 of 35, 7 wickets in hand. World T20 semi-final, 41 of 33.
It was against the same opponent.
Same opponents. Either you have a mental block against the Aussies, you give them one small toe hold, that's it.
And in that intro that Nikhil just had, and we were talking about 17 and 23 and everything. You mentioned about World Test Championship final does come to my mind because there was a lot of talk around India wanting to end that drought. It reminds me of what we've seen today. It's reminded me of what Matthew Hayden had to say about this Indian side. And he talked about how in India it is, you like, I can with my beard, let's say, have a walk in Australia because there's so much other sport happening, athletes. We don't get that kind of attention. In India, the pressure is such on the cricketers here that you fail to cope up with the pressure.
That can't be an excuse.
No, but it is reminding me of that every time what we are seeing is you are not able to cross. Again, like you said, you have the talent. No team just ends up being grouped up or making the final. But you can't hold on to your nerve in the moment that it matters.
My point is that you're talking about pressure on Indian players because it is number one sport and Aussie cricketers don't have it. But you're telling me Argentine football players don't have pressure. They have more pressure than Indian cricketers.
Exactly. Brazil footballers.
You think Brazilian football, German football,
French
Italian football, they don't have. They end up winning. I mean, I'm not saying that India hasn't won. Of course they have. But I'm saying in the recent past, and I'm then talking about a sport where there are 200 competitive countries. You narrow it down to a sport closer to cricket would be rugby, right? Well, I mean, similar, more nations than cricket, of course. But you think Springboks don't have pressure?
All Blacks
don't have pressure.
Yeah.
Right.
England in any sport they face pressure. Any sport that they are in.
So that is going to be there. That can't be That can't be.
No, but I'm saying clearly now the one reason it is all boiling down to you not being able to adapt on the day and soak in the pressure.
Yeah.
You can't, otherwise it's not sheer coincidence that every time you're a group topper, every time you're a semi-finalist or a finalist and you're falling short. And in finals and these crunch matches, you're falling short massively, by the way. You're looking at 10 wicket defeats, you're looking at comprehensive losses in 2 WTC finals, you're looking again at a comprehensive loss today.
Siddharth will tell us why he's feeling like it's 27.
Okay. 2017 Champions Trophy and 2023 this emerging Asia Cup.
Yeah.
2017 your top three all fired and they were chasing, isn't it? One match they won while defending. Okay. Here they chase. Only the top three managed to get some big runs heading into the final.
True.
Here your top three prospered across all the league stages. Okay, the likes of Abhishek Sharma, the likes of Yash Dole, they all chipped in. Again, India defeated Pakistan in the league stages and they came to the final, they defeated them in the league stages. Now, here what did you do? If I'm not wrong, in the...
how many parallels? One, India, Pakistan.
Yeah.
In the final.
Undefeated in the league stage.
Two, India undefeated earlier.
Here,
lost in the final, same in 27.
Yeah.
Three, India beat Pakistan in the league stages, lost in the final. Same thing in the emerging Asia.
Fourth, I think in the final of the Champions Trophy, India won the toss and elected to field. In the ICC Champions Trophy final.
Could have been. India was chasing.
Yes, they did. I think yes, they did.
Here, they won the toss and chose to field. Okay. And the next big parallel. Jasprit Bumrah bowling a no ball to Fakhar Zaman.
Fakhar Zaman is out.
But then overturned on the replay.
Goes on to
Hit a century. But here, Rajvardhan Hangargekar bowls a no ball. But that guy hits a 50. But it's a century opening partnership.
Yeah. Just to sum up the game for you, it's a big loss. 128
28.
run loss that India have lost to Pakistan within a final, which is a big loss. One thing that's really stood out for Pakistan, I think this is their third 300 plus total or second.
Second, they hit a 320 in the semi-final that against Sri Lanka.
I think they got 100 in the league.
Must have been against Nepal.
May have been. I think, if I'm not mistaken, third 300 plus total that they got, second or third. The other thing that really stands out is that India winning the toss, and why would you not bat? I mean, I can't.
I think the reason to that, Nikhil, probably lies in the fact that India's road to the world to the final of the emerging Asia Cup you were chasing in most games. Your first match came against the UAE, you won that by 8 wickets. Second, Nepal, you won by 9 wickets. Third was against Pakistan. Again, you won that comprehensively.
I only count the Pakistan game. UAE and Nepal.
I'm just saying. So,
but remember, in the semi-final against Bangladesh, they batted first.
Yeah. They did. I'm just saying. So we were raising that question again for Pakistan, the previous match that the two teams played, and that time Pakistan won the toss and did the other thing and made India bat for a team that had already won 2 matches on the trot by 9 wicket and 8 wicket margins. That was the question then for Pakistan. Why would you give a team that has been chasing well? There is a centurion, and there was already a centurion in the ranks of Yash Dhul.
I don't know, on a big game, big stage, I think bat first. Pressure of chasing.
And I'm not too sure if India Yash Dhul would have minded over here to chase this. Of course, they knew that this was a stiff target. They've not seen a 300 plus target now.
No, again I'll tell you why. India's record when it comes to even chasing or even batting first in ICC or major multi-nation tournaments is mixed. 14, you batted first in the World T20 final.
World T20.
2016, you batted first in the semi-final, yet you lost.
Yeah, but those are experienced teams. This is an emerging team. So I think the pressure would be different.
Exactly.
And the other thing, I feel they may have misread the pitch. I reckon,
yes.
Because you kept saying that this is a different ground and this is not a ground where you can really
as evidenced in the league and the semi-finals that you played at the Premadasa.
What happened in the final?
I think they presented a totally different pitch. That must have been the case.
But
in the previous matches,
different strips.
Maybe that one strip that they played in the final.
Clearly, there is one team that batted much better than the other one. I don't think you can really point out.
No, I have to give this. I mean, I'll get to Pakistan's performance, but one thing is certain that this is not a typical Premadasa pitch.
Yeah.
Truth be told, this was a good batting track. It wasn't offering anything to the fast bowlers. It Delhi didn't offer much to the spinners as well. The kind of grip that they were getting previously and the turn, none of that was happening in this. So that I will
maybe what must have happened.
Benefit of the doubt to the Indian players.
Maybe what must have happened. Look at the top three. Saim Ayub, Saibzada Farman, both, by the way, have played international cricket. I'll come to that a bit later. Omer Yusuf, Taib Taib, look at their strike rates. When they were sustaining the onslaught on the Indian bowlers, Yash Dhul, I think, had to spread the field out to stop the bleeding. But it was a catch-22 because they are hitting the boundaries, they are finding the singles. How do you stop the run flow? Because you know they were losing wickets on a consistent basis also. I mean 121, 146, 183, 184.
Only after Tahir got out. See, your first wicket also came up at 121.
No, they started very well.
Yeah.
And I think Pakistan started very well. But then there was a mini collapse that they had in the middle where they lost 4 quick wickets.
Yeah.
I think from there on, India didn't do well to curtail them.
Yeah.
Towards the end, there was some big hitting that we saw, which kind of helped them, at the end, some big partnerships at the end.
Yeah.
So I think that allowed them to reach 352. India has lost by 128 runs, so the margin looks very big, saying how much of a difference does it make. But if you were chasing 300 vis-a-vis 352, your approach would have been very different.
Yeah.
You could have chased it. So you allowed them. The other thing is your left arm spinners were outstanding.
Yeah.
In Nishant Sindhu, you had
Manav
Sutar, your other spinners in Yuvraj Singh, even Riyan Parag to a certain extent. They were all the reason why India were doing well, and Hunger Breaker too. All this while. Just it so happened in the final, you didn't get the condition. So your strength, which had been your bowling, just couldn't come to the fore. But one thing I will say, whatever, we'll scrutinize India's performance, but one thing I will say, full credit to Pakistan. They came out and played a final the way it is supposed to be played. They played fearless cricket from the word go. No matter how good the condition is, remember they had lost a match to India.
Yes.
They succumbed to the spin bowling of those Indian bowlers. With those doubts in mind, they came out. I wonder whether that pep talk
by
that
Babar
the
Azam.
Pakistan captain Babar Azam gave them helped them. We saw Shaheen Shah Afridi sitting in the dressing room and watching the game as well. So that helped. But sometimes those tips might help. But what all I'm saying is, see, this is the one reason you've seen Indian team, and we started the discussion by saying that why are they not doing well. I think the one thing that I have started noticing with the Indian team, because of the expectations, and I said this before, they go on a big game saying, let's play percentage cricket. Let's play, safe cricket. It's a big game. We don't want to look like making a major mistake. When you go in with this attitude, then you'll always play percentage right cricket. That'll never be. So that's the kind of cricket that will never make you look foolish. But that's also not the kind of cricket that will really help you stamp the authority onto the game.
There is no X factor cricket.
Yes. Whereas other teams, what I've seen, when you go onto the knockout, some of these teams, and Pakistan is example and credit where it's due. That on that day they're saying, okay, listen, maybe where they came from. See, India having won all games were the favorites. They carried that, and they thought that they were the best team. So you go in saying, let's just play the way we've been playing. It's been successful. We'll do it. Pakistan, on the other hand, maybe thought that, listen, whatever we've been doing is doing well other places, but didn't work against India. We'll have to up the ante. We'll have to go for a gamble. Nobody is expecting us to win as much as they're expecting India to win. So let's go all out. We win. We lose. They could have looked really foolish on the day. But I think that's the gamble that they were ready to take. That's the gamble sometimes I feel India doesn't do it, and it extends to other teams as well.
Exactly, because yet again, it's a case of deja vu repeating itself over and over and over again. And there is a pattern now. There is a pattern, and
it's a spiral.
Either you are peaking too early. That's a term we often use, right? When do you peak at the right time? In the case of India, either they are peaking too early and then they are fading away at the most inopportune time. It's happened. See, in the World Cup, you finished on top of the table, right, in 2019.
I don't know.
But yet you lost in the semi-final.
It somehow takes me to the question so at times teams need a wake-up call. You have that wake-up call and then that fires you for the entire tournament. Let's take Argentina this year at the World Cup. Lost to a team nobody thought they would ever lose to, end up winning the World Cup. With India, they never get that wake-up call. The time that they get a wake-up call, things are over.
Okay.
that-
There was an interesting question by Roy SP in a previous chat. What did he ask?
I mean, he said that there has to be a age cap.
Yes.
Age cap. Would you like?
Yes.
What does everyone think? You.
What is the definition?
Let's put a
Yeah.
poll also.
Yeah.
Put a poll out, Shivam. That should there be a age cap
on
in emerging
tournaments? Yeah.
Let's say under 23. Just to give you a context, it happens in other sport.
Yeah.
Like in football, in the Olympics or Asian Games,
Asian
because there's a big
Games, yeah.
controversy around the Indian football team. The talk is, or not the talk, the rule is majority of the players are under 23. You're allowed 2 or 3 players which are above 23. You can send them
Yeah.
to make the balance right. Should a similar thing be done for an emerging Asia Cup? What are your thoughts? Do let us know. Meanwhile, let's hear from Siddharth. and
I mean, look, all your players who contributed today, I mean, for example, Tayyab Tahir,
Yeah.
he is 29 years of age. I'll add 2 caveats in this, okay? 29 years of age, having already played 3 T20I internationals. He played in 3 T20Is against Afghanistan in Sharjah. Okay? The likes of the openers also, they have also played T20Is. Mohammad Wasim and they have also played Mohammad Wasim and Shahnawaz. Although Dhani was not there, but even
He
Mohammad
was there
Wasim.
in the previous match.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen
So five.
And all of them
So
well
5
over 20.
Pakistani players
And,
who played in the
Harris-
emerging Asia Cup
Mohammad
have played international
No,
cricket.
Even
that
the
is
captain,
6.
Mohammad
Yeah,
Harris.
Harris as well.
Okay, six
Six.
Pakistani players have played international cricket. For India,
And I
zilch.
think all of them are over 25.
That's okay. But for India, it's zilch.
It's zilch, yes.
Should there be a age cap?
For emerging Asia.
In bracket, put under 23 for emerging tournaments.
Huh.
Okay. Haan.
So look at all the ages. Most of them I think are not under 25.
Our lot, right?
No, I'm saying the Pakistani
Pakistan.
players.
They are not okay.
They are not under 25.
25.
Tayyab Tahir is 29 years and 362
No,
days.
that's the point well made. What do
Yeah.
you think?
There should have been a cap.
Okay.
A cap, say, okay, not neither here nor 25 years and not having played more than one in T20 international or any international game. One.
Okay. That's his suggestion. So that suggestion is there should be an age gap of under 23 and
Under
not-
25.
Ajay, you're saying under 25.
25. Let the cap be
and,
25.
and not no more than one game.
One.
Day has been called off. Australia is retained the Ashes.
Okay.
Okay.
We will come to live on that. Meanwhile, just to update you, Australia have retained the Ashes. We'll be coming live with that after we finish
Yep.
this. We got plenty of questions on India versus Pakistan. We'll try and answer all of
Yep.
that. Then get to the Ashes. Harshit.
I think definitely there has to. If you're going by the, I think the name has it. If it's emerging, then it's got to be for players who are to emerge and not players who emerged, played some cricket at the international level, and then there is another format
So
for
you're
them.
saying Pakistan's team wasn't emerging; it had already emerged.
See, if you've got 60 or 55% of your side that has international exposure, I'm not too sure if that's an emerging side.
Okay.
And okay.
Then these are clearly players who aren't, let's say, good enough to be part of the senior team, but you want to have them play at some sort of a
One major
competitive level.
justification. How can you say that Noor Ali Zadran of Afghanistan, who is 30 plus, how can he be emerging?
Okay, no, for fair point. You made your point. 25 is the age limit.
Yeah.
And no more than one international. Huh.
I would actually not mind the age to be about 23 also, I think is okay. Because 25 what you see is, and people would have played, let's say, a game or two here and there and that's how big a difference, let's say, it's made. Because these guys, let's speak of the Indian lot here. These are players who we saw them play, and a couple of them lift the under 20, the under 19 World Cup as well. Now, at least that's how it works in India, and otherwise as well in other countries. So you see, people get that kind of exposure. If you're, let's say, winning or non-winning under 19 side, people will end up making some sort of a mark on the international stage in about 2 to 3 years time. 4. Even then it is, let's say, 23, 24 is the age gap that you're looking at. 22 also. You've got 18-year players. So 23 for me is also fine.
Okay, Harshit says 23. Now, if you ask me, I also believe there should be an age cap for an emerging tournament, and I would also go with 23. And I gave an example of football and other sport which allows 3 players which can be above the age limit. I won't even want that. I just want under 23 players. The entire squad should be of under 23 players. That's what I would want. Now, coming back to how this tournament happened. Let this not be an excuse for India losing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do not want anybody to say that, oh, they are, because there were a few comments saying that how is this an emerging team of Pakistan? These players have already emerged. Like Siddharth points out, 6 of them have played international. I agree all of that. But my point here is, was this rule already put when this tournament happened? No, right?
No.
So I don't think Pakistan or Afghanistan or Sri Lanka, these are teams that
Bangladesh,
have fielded international players, did anything wrong. Because you had put no rule in place. Yes, I think all of us have agreed that there should be an under 23 rule, but because this rule wasn't in place already, so none of these teams have done wrong. Now you can look at how India has taken it. I will actually compliment the BCCI for what they did. I think they did a fantastic job of sending an emerging team. They've done the right thing. For other boards, whatever they've done, it's their headache, how they want to run their cricket. Yes, they've, for the moment, no grudge. They've followed the rules, they've sent the team based on the rules, and Pakistan has won it under the rules, fair and square, thumbs up to Pakistan,
absolutely.
they played the best cricket, they won. But the thing is, I think in long term, because all of us agree that emerging player, and I like the fact that BCCI sent this team. There was a comment here earlier which said, and because I know Indian fans are not going to be happy at the moment. There was a comment here where a gentleman said that, how are you even calling this India A? Because India A would be next up in international cricket. I agree with you. I have said this earlier as well. This is not India A. This is India D. Honestly, if I try and if Harshit, me and Siddharth sit together and try and make a T20 team in, descending order in terms of number 1 A team and then a descending order of strength or reputation, then you'll have an A team, you'll have a B team. As I gave you an example, A team you already know. A B team is roughly the team that is with the team, that is players that are coming out and out. C team would be roughly the team that will be going for the Asian Games. And this effectively, none of these are even part of that, is going to be a D team. I'm saying a minimum of D team. None of them are played. But what it shows you is the strength of Indian cricket, that you could send a D team where actually other teams have sent their A teams. So honestly, Pakistan A is Pakistan A, Bangladesh A is Bangladesh A, and Sri Lanka A was Sri Lanka A. They sent their next best teams after their main teams, and this is how they performed. We sent our 4th best team, and this is how they performed. They looked like the best team in the tournament. Going forward, have a rule. So your future is good. What you've done, and by the way, this is what you see sometime. We are on the other side. I see this with a lot of Indian sport, whether it's football, it's athletics, all junior level, under 15, 17, 19, we keep winning all tournaments. As soon as these guys graduate to the next level, we lose. Why? Because we're not really sending the emerging guys, we send overage players and we never can graduate. In cricket, we are the top team. So in football, sometimes you'll beat teams like Japan, Korea and all also in age group tournament. When you come to the senior team, you're not even close. In cricket, we are that strong team where we can afford to stand. Our strength is so good that we can afford to send a D team. So overall, if you see this tournament, I as an supporter of Indian cricket feel very happy that this is our bench strength. This is the kind of talent pool that we have, that we can send a 4th best team, whereas everyone else send the 2nd best team and they can be best. But having said that, in the future have a rule. Still, the only thing I will hold a grudge against this Indian team is that if you were the best team, which they were of this tournament, you should have won the title. You were the best team of this tournament, but you bottled it up in the final, and that's something that you need to learn. I have one more question from you guys. Because you're talking about international cricket, I agree that you point out a few players have played international cricket. For India, they haven't. We've discussed enough. They're the 4th best team. But tell me one thing, a lot of your guys play the IPL. A lot of those guys who are playing do not play the IPL. And many feel that IPL standard is sometimes higher than some international matches that these guys would have played. That the pressure of playing in the IPL is higher. The exposure in the IPL is higher because you're playing like some top level players. So if you had that, what explains India losing the final?
I mean, didn't we have that same thing? I mean, it might only point out that you're peaking too early, and it's something in the mind. Something in the mind, either you freeze, like there is a saying by a British Lions coach. He had described the situation for the Australia-South Africa of semi-final, 99 World Cup. He had said, if you want to combat pressure, brains in the freezer, bodies in the oven. That's how you should approach the game. Cool mind.
My point is, how is it that they peak and this cool mind does not happen when they play such a high profile tournament like IPL? They would be used to it by now, right?
One particular group of players might be at the receiving end of a choke if you look at it.
I'd say the one reason
Because all are from the same pool, but experiences will be different. No? So say for example, Sai Sudarshan, he was there in the GT team when they lost.
Oh, that reminds me, the important point. Sai Sudarshan no ball.
Oh yes.
Was that a no ball, not a no ball? Did it change the game? Did India lose because of that?
No, I mean it is a talking point. It's a talking point, but I don't think that was the main contributing
Can
factor.
we show this visual right now? Okay. I just want to say a couple of things. When you see this picture, and this picture is doing the round on social media, it clearly shows that Sai Sudarshan got out on a no ball.
Yes.
Right? It shows, this picture shows that. However, I think what we need to do is revisit the live footage, because sometimes this can create an illusion where you think that it's a no ball, but it may not be, because the foot drags.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see, and if I'll try and stand and explain. If this is a line, let me say if this is the line, can this be seen? If this is the line, and what you're seeing on the visual is here, right? The leg is here, or here. So it's clearly looking like a no ball, right?
Yep.
It's looking like a no ball. Everyone is up in arms that it's a no ball. But if you notice that when this incident happened, the third umpire saw it multiple times. He saw it multiple times. Now the third umpire, having seen the replays, would have not given it a no ball if he didn't have reason enough. So let me explain what could have happened, and that's why you need to see the live footage again, because when you see a still image, it's this, and you're saying it's a no ball, or it's this, and you're saying it's a no ball, right? Because this is the line, you're ahead of it. Now the rule says some part of it has to be behind the line. So if it's like this, then it's not a no ball, right? Let me put it like this. So if it is like this, then it is not a no ball, right? If it, now the image is showing you this, so you're saying it's a no ball. But remember, when do you see where some part is on the line or not? Is when the ball lands, or when the bowler's leg lands. So a lot of times, and we saw it with another incident, Siddharth, later in the match. So when he lands, his foot is like this. So it is, some part of it is behind the line, like this. The foot is landed like this, so some part is behind the line. But by the time the ball leaves out of his hand, the foot moves to
dragged.
It's dragged. But the rule, according to the rule, if it's landed here, and even if the ball is in your hand, that's not a no ball. And I suspect this is what happened in Sai Sudarshan's case. At the time of the first touch of his foot coming down while releasing the ball is like this, then it's fine. But you are only seeing the image which is dragged by the time he's delivered the ball. So there is this much drag. Let me show you. There's this much sort of a drag that you have when you're leaving the, and that drag, and that is why that image can be deceiving. So if anyone is up in arms and right now saying, oh boy, India has been robbed, not quite. Because we saw
and remember, in the case of Hangargekar, let me just be, the first impact itself was way outside the line. So even in that, India was quite unlucky. There was no fine margins going in their favor.
Also, if you guys have played competitive sport, if you've played cricket and if you've been a bowler, you would know, okay, a spinner still has control, but a fast bowler, you can't just, plant your foot over there. There will always be a little bit of a skid, a little bit of a drag. And this is always, almost always debated. When you see still frames, that's the problem. It doesn't tell you the entire story.
Picture,
Because a bowler's front leg will always skid a little, because you can't have a spike, let's say, at the heel. You don't have spikes over there. You can't, the foot cannot be rooted. It will drag a little bit. So what happens is, what Nikhil said is that there will always be that drag, but what is noticed is when the foot lands, did it land, was there any part behind the line or not? That is what is checked.
It could have been nanometers.
But I'm saying the third umpire, having seen the replay so many times, wouldn't make that mistake.
But anyway, umpiring, especially in the subcontinent in this last couple of days, has been...
Do not confuse Bangladesh umpiring with what you're seeing in Sri Lanka.
I know.
Because in the emerging Asia Cup, by and large, the umpiring has been very
good, yes. But yet, I mean, this will be a big talking point, despite we telling everything. But it's been a tough week for a subcontinent umpiring.
In Bangladesh.
In Bangladesh also. So,
Okay, we got a lot of questions. Let's take them one by one.
Lots and lots.
Yep. So, okay, there's one more.
No, but we
we'll
start
start from the
with the
top.
first
Yeah.
Who's that?
Harit Yadav is like saying, preview of what will happen later in the year. He's already deflated.
Actually,
Another 10 years, they will have lost enough that there will be no fan pressure.
Harit, have you been seeing a lot of Siddharth?
See, I can understand that you're an Indian fan, but मेरे लिए तो एक ही नाम सुनता है. Aotearoa, that's it.
New Zealand.
Yes.
सबको समझाओ. People don't understand your thing of that.
Yeah.
Don't be that disheartened, Harit.
Yeah.
Indian cricket also does a lot of good things. Yeah. So, and maybe they do such good things. That's why we have these expectations, which is why we want.
See, I can understand that generation. After winning 83, you have to wait 28 years. I can understand that generation being
Then MS
disillusioned.
Dhoni spoiled you.
Yeah, exactly. But remember in the 90s, it was the ultimate low for us as a
Because he
confidence
made
thing.
you believe that in 5 years you can complete the trophy cabinet.
Exactly. 6 years.
6 years. 6 years.
The treble. Only captain to have done it. So yeah, MS Dhoni spoiled us.
He's still winning trophies
Yeah.
in the IPL though.
He's level with Mumbai Indians now. So yep.
Okay, next question.
Shubham Garg is saying, how is this India A? I don't see any of these players playing for India anytime soon. It was more of an under-19 team extension. Pakistan International playing 11 PSL guys.
But we spent enough time discussing that.
Exactly what you said.
Exactly what we said, Shubham. If your question may have come earlier. If
Yeah.
you joined us just now, we discussed that in detail.
Yep.
You feel free to share your views, but we just put our views forward.
Yep.
Of how
So
we see that.
SP Roy is saying playing Saim, I don't mind as he's just 21. But 29-30 can't be emerging. Playing internationals is still not that big an issue, but age for sure.
Yeah, we've discussed that as
There's a
well.
poll
Yeah.
also, SP Roy, on that. So.
Yeah, we've got a poll going. We'll see the
Yeah.
result. There was
Mr.
one
Shekhar.
more.
Mr. Shekhar from the US is saying, had India's composition been the same as Pakistan and won the trophy, except maybe Nick sir, I'm sorry, no one among you fellas would bring this age limit one. Mr. Shekhar,
Yeah.
we have been. We expressed surprise at how come a 27, 28-year-old individual can be an emerging. I pointed out the case of Noor Ali Zadran of Afghanistan. 30 plus and he's an emerging.
Yeah.
Chamika Karunaratne, Avishka Fernando, we all point on one of the lives that every individual, every team has got a player
just
from
stop.
international cricket. They have played international, at least one.
Stop the comment. Go up. No, you go on.
Okay, one
Any
player
comments?
at least.
Comments are opening.
Yeah, one player at least in international cricket that's
But-
there in each of the team, except for India. Will that come to bite them back? It did.
But see, we were always up for it.
Up for
As
it.
a cricketing board, we were always up for it, which
Yeah.
is why I think
Exactly.
the board also acknowledges this. Yes, the pain remains in whatever amount that it exists, but that's not to say that there will be any remorse of a team that was sent or two younger teams.
And
that were
remember,
sent.
Mr. Shekhar, had India won against Pakistan today, I said Pakistan, despite even playing with 7-8 international stars, could not beat this Indian D or E team.
Yep.
That would have been the tone. But again,
Mr.
it changes
Shekhar,
according to the
go
result.
back. We did also said it very explicitly that if India were the best team, and hands down they were, they should have won it. These things don't apply now because India have lost. It still applies to them, but we're just stating facts here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
This is what Deepak Yadav is saying. He's saying being runner-up without international experience against 25 plus age players is a great thing. I'm disappointed that did not play till the 50th over, but not worried of losing. Deepak, I think you've hit the nail on the
Yes.
head. See, this is an emerging tournament, and the focus of this is to give exposure to these players to perform at the top level, slowly and gradually. And on that front, India has done the right thing,
Yep.
allowed really an emerging team to go there, a D team of sorts, as we've explained earlier. They've got that kind of exposure. So future is not an issue. But you're right. The only thing that we are questioning is that if you were the best team, this is not the kind of performance that you expected out of this team. Maybe
Yes.
they'll learn. Maybe they'll get better
Yeah.
as they reach there.
Absolutely.
But if you were the best team of this tournament, you just capitulated in the final, which wasn't really great to see.
Yeah. Karthik K from the US is saying Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, Tiger Woods, Michael Phelps, Kobe again,
Yeah.
Brady, all had self-affirmations that they are the GOAT. And that helped them in clutch games. Indian team needs that self-belief.
No, by the way, this is a much deeper point that Karthik will kind of agree that most winners, I'd include like players like Djokovic and Nadal, Federer, all of them, that they have this immense amount of self-belief which allows them to perform at that top level all the time. Without it, you can't, right? If you're a self-doubting person who doesn't have faith in their ability and doesn't think he's the best, you will struggle. You will never be the best. You could be there and thereabouts. Never. I agree. And the examples he's given is absolutely right. But I'm saying that that's not to say that India doesn't have that kind of player. I think like when you look at self-belief, I don't think that there is, someone who has it more and that grit than Virat Kohli. He has that, right? But that's still not guaranteed you winning two WTC finals and that 2017 or that semi-final that we keep talking about, whether it was 2019 or whether it was the last time around against England in Australia in 2022. There was MS Dhoni in some of those matches. It didn't happen. Nobody has, that kind of self-belief as him. So it's not that India doesn't have that players. They've done it in the past. They've done it quite often. But I guess there are a lot of things that goes into it. For you to get a winner.
Exactly, and remember, Indian players will be scrutinized, dissected, viewed upon by a lot of opponents. They'll analyze each and everything also. So, role of technology also. Every other team, if you look at it, 10 teams, 110 of their players, 150 other players will be dissecting each and everything of what Virat Kohli does, what Rohit Sharma does. So, they are much more vulnerable, and to rise up against that, it will need supreme skill. That's why Virat Kohli, if you look at it in clutch games in the ODI World Cup, unfortunately he's come a cropper. But that is because the opponents have planned better.
True.
The planning is now next level. In the case of Virat Kohli, they know we have to get him as soon as possible. There are areas, we'll exploit that.
Okay, Shubham Garg's comment.
If we are counting emerging loss as trophy loss of last 10 years, why don't then count under 19 World Cup? There are also emerging players, but of course we do.
We do. And we celebrate.
Yeah.
We're of course counting that.
Under 19 World Cup, we are the absolute beasts.
That's under 19, this was more of a senior level tournament. And as I said, these are some of the stars that are playing IPL. And you guys tell me, do you consider IPL any less than international cricket? Some people consider it even more. So that's why this is that. Under 19.
And some say it's difficult to win the IPL than the World Cup.
Yeah, some have said. I don't agree with it, but people have said. I think that's a kind of, take from what people sometimes talk about football, and I kind of agree with that. Where they say that it's tougher to win a Champions League than to win a FIFA World Cup, which could be true. Because in a FIFA World Cup, there are weaker teams that you will get.
Yes.
In a FIFA World Cup, national teams, you'll have to make do with the talent available because it's bound by nationality. But in Champions League, you literally have all-star teams. Each of those top clubs have all-star teams. They can choose the best defenders, best midfielders, best strikers from around the globe, and they put together an all-star team. And there will be 10 other clubs that will do that. And then they compete to win a trophy. So, I agree that level is different. But I'm not too sure whether that holds true in IPL versus...
No. World Cup is a totally different beast altogether. And it's still held as one of the vintage events.
Yeah.
If you look at in the FIFA World Cup, football has been that one sport where the club versus country debate has really diluted significance of a lot of tournaments. But yet the World Cup win is the most prestigious one. No footballer will ever say,
I'm saying the level of competition Champions League may trump it. Can I just see the poll result before we wind up? Because there's a... So we asked, should there be an age gap? Under 23 I had said, but he's put 25, never mind. Between players in emerging thing. You've given ages. So
yes.
Then you didn't need to put under 25 in the question. But anyway, should there be an age gap between players in emerging games? There is 18, 12%, 20 age group, 13%, 23, 52%, 25 or above, 23%. So I think 23, under 23 is a clear winner.
Yep.
And if I was voting, I'd also vote for that. Harshit too.
Same.
Siddharth would have voted for 25.
25, I would have voted for 25 just to ensure that.
But that's okay. It was a good outing, emerging player tournament. I think it's a tournament that can continue for years to come, but maybe with certain rules.
Yep.
As we discussed, we're going to Yeah.
This India team, I mean, imagine their D team has actually made it to the final, and unfortunately they came short. But otherwise, the IPL talent
I'm
that
not
is
even
coming out
sure
of there is
if
staggering.
all of our guys have an IPL contract.
No, Shubham is saying one thing, that apart from Jurel, which player is consistently playing the IPL, I agree with you, like a Hunger Gairkar doesn't, but Riyan Parag does.
Parag does.
Yeah.
Riyan Parag does, Abhishek Sharma does.
Abhishek Sharma.
Yes, Abhishek
So
does.
they all play regularly for their team. And some of them come in and out. Harshit Rana is...
KKR.
Just the first time now.
Yeah.
but he started to play.
Yash
And then
Dhul has started.
Yash Dhul has started. So that's okay.
Nishant Sindhu for CSK, but hardly he's gotten a game.
Yeah.
He needs to go out of CSK to get more chances.
Yeah. Kunal Ranjan, you have a very interesting question. There is a logical answer to that, but not on this live. You wanted to know. I would love to answer that question because
Yeah.
I followed that subject very closely. Maybe we'll do a Q&A tomorrow or something. I'll try and answer that. DRS, they should be, but DRS costs a lot of money. I think emerging player is not broadcaster. See, it has to be the financial model has to be there. You can get DRS by if ACC, Asian Cricket Council, says, okay, we make money through the major Asia Cup, so we'll use that money and put it up. Maybe you can do it. But I guess it's okay. It's an emerging tournament if you don't have DRS. We lived in a non-DRS world anyway.
Exactly.
Not the end of the world. It's not the World Cup that you will miss out. This is a tournament to give exposure to players.
Exactly.
So, okay, lots of comments on the Ashes. We're going to be coming live in another 2 minutes with a detailed analysis on the Ashes. Australia has retained that. Don't forget to subscribe to Sportsway. Press the bell icon because if we have multiple lives, that's your only way of knowing when we're live. So, don't go anywhere. In exactly 2 minutes, we're coming back live with a detailed analysis of the Ashes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.